talking about a couple of the worst things you could do with the narcissist. If you're still dealing with one, or if you have to deal with one. If you have dealt with it, then this will be highly relatable. But there's a lot of times when it comes down to where the narcissist and you have some sort of disagreement. You're trying to create a resolve. You're trying to come up with solutions and so forth and so on. And you lay out what it is that you want. They lay out what it is that they want. And you two try to come to some sort of agreement on those terms, right? On how you're going to make things work, how you're going to go about doing things and so forth and so on from that point. Problem is, one party's going to not play by the rules. One party's going to take in everything that you're saying, agree to it, act as though they understand, act as though it is a fair deal, but have no intentions at all in honoring it or going along with the plan. And this is one of the most frustrating type of things that you may have encountered with these narcissistic types of individuals is nothing ever seems to work out as planned, as stated, as talked about, whatever, with them. We all know that narcissists don't like to play by the rules. They don't like rules. They believe rules are for suckers. Rules are for the foolish, the stupid, and not for them. So they don't play by rules. They will go along with it, and they will act as though that, they highly respect rules and regulations to keep you in that mode, to keep your mindset in that state of wanting to play by the rules. But they're not going to play by the rules. They want the advantage. And that's what it's all about, them having the advantage. So the worst things you can do when dealing with a narcissist is to negotiate and compromise with them. That's not going to work. No set of negotiation agreements are going to be kept, and any type of compromise is going to be broken at some point. They're not going to honor it. They're just not. That's not going to favor them in any way. Right? And they don't want you to choose a better option, choose a better situation. So they're going to play along. They're not going to be honest and upfront about not going along with it. They want you to act in accord and uphold your end of the bargain while they pretend to be upholding their end of the bargain. And this is why they always stay ahead of the supply, or they stay ahead of you, because in front of you or to the plain sight, it looks like they're doing everything as agreed. But behind your back, they're not following any of that. They'll pretend to be morally upstanding, right? Where they may speak highly against cheating, highly against those types of people who cheat as well. They condemn them, and they say this so strongly and passionately in front of you to put your mind at ease, to not have you think as though they would be that type of person, They'll speak terribly about people who do drugs and how that causes them to mess their lives up and all of this, and how foolish those types of people are when they still engage in it behind your back, unbeknownst to you. This is, a really, deeply embedded type of thing within narcissists, within their character, is that Dupers Delight. They like duping people, getting over, having this sort of, upper hand on you. They like the feel of how it is for you to be in the dark, misguided, unaware, while they're doing all these other things behind your back. But being able to give off the impression, the image that they are even keel with you, even keel at least with you, and they're not deviating from the agreement, is what they want it to appear to be. They are upholding that compromise that both of you have came to, right? It gets you to shut up. It gets you to take your mind off of having to worry about anything that y'all had to discuss and bring up. Takes the pressure off of them, takes the magnifying glass off of them. And they still get to have their way. They still get to do what they want to do, because that compromise and negotiating part with them, it's like you're putting rules and boundaries on them. They don't like boundaries. That's why I said one of the most early deterrents of a narcissist being with you is strong, healthy boundaries. And if you really stand on that, they're going to try to get you to break them. They're going to try to get you to bend those boundaries, to, go outside of that, to, change your mind, your perception or whatnot on that. But if you are able to hold strong, to remain steadfast, they're gonna leave. They're not gonna want to deal with that. You're too set in your ways. You're too much willpower, too much strength. They're gonna move on. They're gonna try you. Yeah, they like a challenge. I mean, they're still gonna try you to see if they can get by or get away with it, of pushing your boundaries. And in fact, it's a necessity. They have to try your boundaries. So don't just think just because you say one thing, I threw my boundary up, that means they're going to walk off. No, they have to try it. Because even though you have a boundary, how strong is it? If you have boundaries that's, frail as finish line tape, you can run right through that. Put a little resistance to it, you're in. I mean, put a little pressure on it, you're in there. If your boundaries are strong and impenetrable, they'll soon realize that, and they'll take it serious that you really stand on what you say you stand on, and they'll back out. They'll remove themselves. That's a no-win situation for them. They know you're going to be difficult to get to change, get to see things their way. It's going to be too difficult. They don't want that type of person. They like weak boundaries. They like people who are unsure of themselves. They like people who are overthinkers. Overthinking too much causes even more confusion. They like that. They like those type of people. Overthinkers typically make the wrong judgment calls. So this is the type of people that, yeah, if they see it, they're going to push up on that type of person a lot more to get in. Yeah, they'll work for that type of person. Because when it does come down to agreements and negotiations, they know the threshold of your boundaries and what they can push, what they can finagle and alter to still have their way. Believe it or not, most of the time, by the time a narcissist gets in with you, they've already studied and mastered how you are, who you are. These people, all they do is watch. You know, if you have all that time to just people watch, a good majority of those type of people are, I don't want to generalize, so I'll just say a good majority are the types that would be on that narcissistic type stuff, on that scheming, plotting, conning type stuff. Because they're people watching, a lot of them, to spot victims. They don't want to engage, but they want to watch. Now, it's another thing some people like to watch to gauge, you know, if it's safe, if it's not. But a lot of predatorial individuals do a lot of people watching, do a lot of surveilling the scene. Instead of enjoying, having fun with everyone else, they're off in the cut somewhere to the back, just watching everything, monitoring. If you look at any predator in the wild, before they catch their prey, they're just stalking, they're watching. They're watching what's going on. They're looking for the weak one. They're looking for the point of advantage. All right. So, yeah, this is just one of the things that you have to be aware of, that if you're encountering someone like that and you're setting out things where there's compromise and you're trying to negotiate, you have to make sure and understand whether or not that person's character aligns with being able to keep up these things based on integrity, right? Integrity meaning that when no one's looking, are they still going to do the right thing? Knowing that no one's looking, no one's around, will you still do the right thing, or will you go ahead and do things how you want to do it just because it appears that you can't get caught? That's where integrity comes in at. When no one's around, you still uphold the right thing because that is what was agreed on, because that is what you want to honor, any agreements or whatever you may have made. And that's a big difference. It's a big difference when you look at dealing with people. But for a narcissist, no way. They're not going to keep any type of word. That's not how they're wired to play fair. It's not how they're wired to, be agreeable and play by the rules. It makes them feel vulnerable. They can't function in that position. So they'll never honor anything that calls for their integrity. They don't have any. So negotiating and compromising is pretty much out the window. Anyway, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, we'll talk soon. Have a good one.